NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
Welcome to NewsBiscuit, the UK's original fake news. NewsBiscuit, the first to be banned at the Qatar World Cup. I'm your host, Wrenfoe, and I'm joined by four people less suitable to be on TV than Matt Hancock. Chris F.
Hello.
SparklyBob.
Hello.
Tim.
Hello.
And Paul L.
Hello.
This month, football fans watched the World Cup sober, causing a spike in heroin use. COP27 proves to be the usual cop out. And Trump returns to Twitter and thanks J.K. Rowling for holding the fort. And so that brings us to our first round, News in Brief, where our panelists select their favourite headlines. Paul L., we're going to start with you. What have you got?
Inquiry into Mobius strip criticised for being one-sided.
Yes, yeah. A maths joke. Start
One for the mathematicians.
We do that really regularly on NewsBiscuit. We have like physics and maths jokes, and I didn't study that hard at school, and I don't get any of them.
I
have to Google this shit later.
Yeah, I had to look at Mobius strip, and I went, "Oh, that is funny."
That's the best kind of jokes. The one you look up, Google, research after you heard them, and have a good laugh.
Yeah, spontaneous. Yeah. That's what we like.
This one's Airbnb guests can opt out of being filmed by owners' hidden cameras for a small surcharge of $50. You won't be filmed live streamed to Pornhub. Bit disappointing, really, for those who want to be.
Is that what Airbnb is? You're just lured in for budget rooming, and in fact, you're appearing in a movie. You're just unaware of it.
They will just have to do it on the old-fashioned way and bore a hole in the wall.
Right. So is that the old fact? Is that the route you'd go with, Paul? You'd be drilling your holes.
Yes. That's the classic.
That is
really,
the classic. And do you do the whole thing of you drill the hole in the ceiling, and then do you have to then stay in the loft during the night, Paul, when you're just looking through these holes?
Of course.
Okay. Any of our listeners at home, these handy DIY tips that Paul hands out, you can visit his special website, borehole.com.
If my neighbours are listening, I'll see you in a bit.
Right, thank you, Paul. And your next one.
Deal on metric system inches closer.
Another maths one, like measurement one. I like that.
Yes. Swanvesta worried business will go up in smoke if employees strike.
Oh. Layers.
Yeah,
like
so
it.
many puns.
So many puns.
Tim, you're next up. What have you got for us?
KFC apologises after Kristallnacht promotion in Germany.
Oh God, no, that was a thing, wasn't it?
It was a thing.
Yeah. Some of these are obviously made up fake headlines, but that was a real one, wasn't it?
They have an automated system set up that recognises dates that are put into the calendar.
Oh,
so it does. Here's a Christmas promotion. Here's a thing, and sends out emails or something. And Kristallnacht is in the German calendar as a day of remembrance.
Yes,
it just went straight into the system.
That's so bleak. The blame is really with the calendar. You've got a calendar that's got a combination of joyous events and terrible, horrific, and tragedies. This is when your aunt died. Have some chicken. It's
You think that would backfire with other calendars as well? I mean, there's other days that are not appropriate to go KFC. I'm like, even like big national remembrance things here, like the Remembrance Sunday or whatever. That wouldn't be appropriate, would it?
Oh,
You've
no.
been to the church, you've done your 11 minutes, your 1 minute silence. Have some
Until
chicken.
National Vegetarian Day. Have some chicken.
You want to.
I quite enjoyed TSA finds handgun hidden inside raw chicken in luggage at airport.
You've been reading Chicken Monthly.
Yeah.
I like a theme. Okay, you just met me. It's a thing. It's in Fort Lauderdale. Somebody wanted to take their gun on a plane and thought, I know, I'll put it inside a chicken.
And that in itself wasn't a red flag. Someone just wandering through with a raw chicken under his arm. No, that's fine. That's
the
fine.
chicken was in their hand luggage.
Well, that's obviously the place you keep a raw chicken.
Yeah.
Tim. You didn't need to explain that to me. That was a given.
Paul would enjoy. The sub-headline is "Investigators Cried Foul at the Discovery."
Oh.
Yeah.
They obviously know we're going to go and try and kill their family, because who's transporting more chicken without refrigeration? You know, they're going to get to their Thanksgiving and go, oh dear, they've all mysteriously died. Luckily, I'm a vegetarian, so I didn't eat it. But if that doesn't kill them off, the gun's there, you see.
Yeah, it's a backup.
So,
I
yeah,
just
it's a
like the
backup.
idea that he'll fire the gun, but while it's still in the chicken. I just like the image of someone with a raw chicken on the end of his hand.
With the muzzle just sticking out the big...
Yeah. And this person on the who's about to get shot looking really confused, their last bewildered expression. Why is he pointing a chicken at me?
It works as a silencer, I think, as well, a chicken.
Yeah.
It's from your vast experience in the lofts, watching people.
I'm giving too much away here.
Yes, a chicken will always silence these things, won't it, Paul?
There was a news item a couple of weeks back of the world's dirtiest man died shortly after having his first bath.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Hold on, was that article written by a 5-year-old who wants to avoid baths? And he's like, no, mum, there's documentary evidence that baths are bad for you. Look at this.
No, I can actually show you a picture of the said man.
This will work well on the podcast. Tim is holding up a picture of a dirty old man. He is definitely dirty.
Looks
It's like a hairy walnut.
I just want to point out, dirty old man is in mud, not just like slavering over young.
Thank you for that. That's disgusting.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah. And any others? Any others, Tim? Was that the last one?
I think I should probably shut up now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Quick while you're ahead. Yeah, end on dirty old men. That pretty much ends most shows. Chris, what have you got for us?
Oxford Dictionary Word of the Year voted as cluster omni fuck shambles.
Is that hyphenated?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really posh name.
Hi, I'm cluster omni fuck.
A firm of solicitors.
I was about to say, but yeah, bung a hyphen in there, and that's a child's name somewhere, surely.
I do like these lists of words, when they release the words of the year, the Oxford Dictionary that they've decided to put in. There's always like a mixture of like things that I don't understand. Like this year, there's sass box is one, which has gone in.
What's a sass box?
Sass box, someone who's like really sort of feisty, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's sort of sassy. I understand sassy, but I don't understand where boxes ended up in the mix.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
That sounds
Goblin
like somewhere you
mode.
keep the sassy people.
Goblin mode is another one. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
That's in
Is that stealth?
No, it's in swingers groups. There reaches a point of the evening where you just go, right now, everyone, we're going goblin mode, and then
Hang on, I'm in several swingers groups and I've never seen that.
we're all going to go orc. What? It's orc time.
Oxford not sure what a word means.
And Mozart and List is in as well, bizarrely, which I've never heard of. Cockney. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert on Cockney rhyming slang, but I know Brahms and List.
The Oxford Dictionary implying there's suddenly an upswell of Cockneys, because I'm not
yeah.
aware. I mean, I think Cockneys are a dying breed, aren't they? They're like a recessive gene.
As a Cockney by proxy, first of all, Mozart and List, absolutely not. Absolutely, yes, we are dying. They knocked down the Bow Bells and built a block of flats.
The lesser known Joni Mitchell song.
Football fans thank Qatar rulers for saving them from drinking Budweiser.
But you're allowed to drink if you're in one of you play in the exclusive VIP lounge things. You're allowed to drink as much as you like in the World Cup, which
That's right.
It doesn't feel like it's like an ethical stance by the Qatari authorities. If you're going, yeah, no one can do it. Oh no, unless you're paying more money, then it's fine.
So I guess the concept is that a box is yours for the night.
So could the LGBTQ community have just then also
Fill a box
then
of an
said,
orgy.
Yeah, said, okay, we're banned for doing what we're doing, but we'll pay extra for a box and we'll do whatever we like. That
Chris, can I just check your Oxford list? Is orgy box in there?
They think it's all over. It is now. The punsters amongst us will like this one. A low-cost, super safe, not too loud bonfire party dismissed as a fire woke display.
Well, if you want to see anger, you get on the Facebook groups, your local Facebook groups, when it gets to the fireworks,
Oh, yeah.
and it is split down the middle. I want them as loud.
Pyromaniacs and the
Yeah, basically you're all woke. I'm going to set off these like, ear-splitting bangers and like that to the other people shouting about dogs and horses and things like that. Oh my goodness, yeah, it gets to blows, I think.
Can those communities ever be brought together? Is there any hope, or is it just?
Yeah, there is in around our way because there's a fox that steals shoes. So often that does join everybody back together again because then someone will either post, "Are these your shoes?" or "Has anyone seen my shoes?" And it just brings us together. That
Maybe
fox
maybe
doesn't
that's what maybe what we need in more sort of areas of conflict where there are two groups, they don't see eye to eye, and we just bring a fox in that steals everyone's shoes, and people go, actually, issues in Northern Ireland between the Catholics and the Protestants. If only our shoes had been stolen more often.
Yeah.
It could also tell you what time Asda opened on a Sunday in the morning. It would be fantastic on the community groups,
That's exactly it.
Slight segue. I have a slight issue at the moment with the community group where I live. There is and I'm using this term very loosely, graffiti artist who just puts their tag everywhere. I mean, it's all over the place.
Is the tag Tim, by any chance?
It is not. It is
Okay.
not. But everyone's going mad about it, and I know who it is.
Oh,
Is it Tim?
What the hell?
Please, yes, we want to know.
So I thought if I say it on a public forum.
Yeah, no, you can out them now. Out them now
No.
on the podcast, and justice will be done swiftly.
If anyone who is in Northwest London wants to know who Ingo is, give me a bell.
it's Banksy.
Isn't that funny? Yes, with the community complaining about graffiti, and then suddenly they discover it's Banksy. Like, oh no, we love it. Oh, we love it. Come back.
Oh, that type of graffiti. Oh no, sorry.
Yes, the expensive kind. Oh, we like that. Right, SparklyBob, what have you got?
But apparently, with Elon Musk crack down on parody accounts on Twitter, this is Jacob Rees-Mogg to be deleted as a parody human. He's now gone back to haunting the backbenches, hasn't he?
He is a wondrous caricature, and he's going to be hard to explain to future generations because, if I show my grandchildren, like, this is a politician when I was young, they're going to go, were you born in 1732?
Musk selling blue ticks tuppence a bag, which is becoming more and more true. Have you seen the latest one? He's doing it color-coded. So he's basically, it's a bad idea. So what he's done is that he's diversified that idea.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep going and adding more layers of ticks with different pay things behind them until everyone's so confused.
Some people will go for it. I mean, I'm playing the long game. I'm not popular on Twitter, so I was never given a tick in the first place.
There is a tick for that now, Wrenfoe.
Yes, there is. Yeah, sludge colour. Genealogist reveals that all your ancestors are dead, which made me laugh because I get so many emails of those. Find out if you're related to everybody on the entire planet, probably at some point. So they can give 60% guarantee that ancestors aren't immortal, and you're also going to die too. Which I thought was probably the most accurate thing. Yeah.
I did a DNA test thing once, and that was brilliant. That was money well spent. But it does put you in contact with people who've got similar DNA to you. I guess it's a warning not to shag them. I guess that's how it functions. It's like, don't braid with these because your kids are going to have 6 toes. I can't see what other reason there is because you haven't got much in common if all you've got in common is DNA. It's not like it's a hobby.
But I don't tend to try and breed with everyone I meet, so that's not really a.
Oh, the self-restraint you've got is admirable too.
The last one is octopus buys bulb in bid to become chandelier. Which made me laugh.
Oh, that's really cute.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a lovely image.
We've been doing those hour saving things that Octopus is doing where like every week they're saying, there's an hour where there's obviously high demand. But essentially it just means we're sitting in a dark room.
Yes.
We've got everything off. And I was like, this isn't feasible long term. We can't literally switch our entire up. Go, here you go, children. Here's some candles. I mean, we really. Oh my God, we're going back to Jacob Rees-Mogg time. This is not going to help. You were born in the 1870s, Mum, because look, you were just. You've got your coal bucket with your one bit of coal lit and your candles. And then he was an MP. Yeah, it's the same thing.
You got to sit in the dark for an hour.
Yeah, so basically,
and think about what you've done, Paul. Just think.
Exactly.
But when you're in the loft,
I do that every day.
Looking through the hole. Surely it's quite dark then.
Yes, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you have to turn their lights off for an hour, Paul.
It's the recording equipment.
Then what's the fun in that?
He's shouting through the hole. I can't see anything. Turn the lights on. Stop being so frugal.
The lighting's not good.
Sitting there with his sketch pad. Can't do anything.
Our next round is True Biscuit, where our panel has to guess which is a real headline and which is a fake one. Chris, we're going to start with you.
Riding roller coasters can help you pass kidney stones, study finds.
So are these like stones just flying out and hitting members of the public?
Well, doesn't it mean you're weeing at the same time as being? I mean, that's frowned upon. I'm pretty sure.
Is
To
it?
be able to pass it, I would have thought so.
Did you get into trouble with that one, SparklyBob, previously?
Just by trying to pass some kidney stones. What can I say?
I'd also say that anyone who's been on a roller coaster recently knows that theme parks are not cheap in the slightest.
Yeah, it's an expensive way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a cheap way to do it.
Do they have
Tim would rather suffer with kidney stones than pay the £5 to go on a roller coaster.
it's like, as you say, your kidney stones must be this big to ride this.
Yeah.
Well, the study came about after a number of people claimed to have passed their kidney stones whilst riding on Walt Disney's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad ride, and so a research team from Michigan State University. It's always Michigan State University. Isn't it?
Is it a real university?
Is it a real state?
So they did an experiment where they rode Big Thunder Mountain Railroad 60 times, carrying a 3D printed model kidney made of silicon. They filled it with urine, or they sort of immersed it in urine.
Chris. Hold on a sec. If you've been in the queue for hours, how annoyed are you going to be that this 3D printer is getting to go on the ride again and again and again?
I know, well, especially if they're filling. And if you're standing there and they're filling it up with urine, I mean, that's got to be, they're standing in the queue. Just wait a minute while
piss. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's more, just a little more detail, just so you can evaluate whether it's true or not. The model was placed in a padded backpack, which they placed at kidney height at the back of the seat on the roller coaster between two researchers. So not conclusive by any means, but
he's
all scientific by the sounds of it. I mean, we're not a 3D printer. We're not a bag.
Yeah, a little rucksack on there with some packed lunch in there as well, just in case.
I love the idea that they're saying, all right, surgeons, we're not going to start in your cadaver first for surgery. We're going to do the other thing that's the most realistic to a human body. Here's a rucksack. It's padded, and this is what you're going to practice operating on before we let you on the real thing. It's almost the same.
So is it the speed that's dislodging the stone, or is it the up and down motion?
Oh, both. And this is one of the key limitations. It does say in the paper at the end that only a single roller coaster was used. That the same effect may not be seen on other rides with different characteristics.
I was going to say, couldn't you just simulate the kind of the speed and the bouncy thing by just cycling on cobbled stones or something?
I mean, it's a lot less fun, though, isn't it? I mean, you want a day out,
Day out.
Sorry, you've got some kidney stones, but here's the treatment. There's a day past Walton Towers.
Which is shorter than a just queue or a queue at Walton Towers.
Queue at Walton Towers, yeah.
Yeah, if it works for this, what else can it work for?
Log flumes for colonoscopies.
I really wanted to be true.
Right, because you got a kidney stone that you need to...
I'm in so much pain right now.
You need to get rid of on
So
the
much
budget.
pain.
He's been Googling while we've been on flights. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no, although I'm very bad at this, usually. So I guess
Yes,
so. I'm going to say sorry, SparklyBob, but I'm going to go with you and say no. So we're probably wrong.
Yeah, Paul is usually a shocker for this one.
It is true. It was in, I think, the esteemed scientific journal I found this in was Lad Bible.
Right, Paul L. What have you got?
Wayne Rooney makes shocking penis revelation in DC United team talk. This is...
No, leave it at that. Let's guess. we can guess. We'll all try and guess what the revelation was. That he is a penis? That there's a penis in the room and he's hidden one and it's concealed? What's the...
Well, it's almost... He shocked his players by talking about the size of his penis during a motivational speech. He was trying to make a rousing triumph over adversity speech.
An arousing or just rousing?
Both, I think.
Right.
By saying that he told the players that having a tiny penis had not stopped him from being successful.
Oh, it's becoming more believable now.
Yeah,
this is the worst TED talk ever that I've ever heard. I mean, it's a dreadful.
So was he kind of then implying that they were all small on the genital spectrum, and he's kind of making them feel good about themselves. Because I imagine a few of those guys are probably sitting in there going, actually, I thought my genitals were a reasonable size. What's he now implying?
I think it was in the changing room as well. So some people might have had their genitals out. That's how it works, isn't it? The changing room.
Is it? Is it, Paul? Is that how it works?
The changing rooms I go to.
Yes. And is it everyone, Paul, or is it just you? And is it? And when you say changing rooms, is it?
You mean loft?
Yeah, loft.
Ah, damn. Yes, you got me there.
I would like to point out for people listening that Paul L is going a lovely shade of beetroot.
And his face as well.
I think it's one of them speeches where someone goes, add some humour, Cabal. And he was like, yeah, I talk about my small penis then, shall I? They're like, oh.
That's his default no matter what. Now, Wayne, this is why we no longer let you do children's parties and bar mitzvahs.
The players were horrified.
Yes.
I bet they weren't. I bet they were recording it on their phones because they'll make a tidy sum out of that, won't they?
And this happened in America, obviously, when he was manager in America, was it, you say? So there could have been an element where the players were going, is this lost in translation? Is this the thing? Is he misunderstanding the word tackle?
Yeah.
Is this an English vernacular that we're not understanding? And then Wayne would have just pulled down his trousers and went, no, this is it.
This really is it.
Yeah.
Didn't Wayne as well years ago? Because he went bald and then he had a transplant, didn't he? Where they took hair from another part of his body and put it on his head. Yes. So not only are his genitals small, but they are smooth and shiny like a small baby's, thanks to the removal of all the hair. Is that what we're talking about?
Usually that makes it look bigger, I'm told.
True.
Because
I just think Wayne Rooney. I think that's true.
That's sufficient. Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit that Wayne would pull.
I'm just hoping it's false. I don't want to think any more about Wayne Rooney's genitalia.
Any more than you do already, because
exactly. Yeah. I spend enough of my day
Monday through to Friday. Your weekends are your own. I understand, Chris. It's exhausting being you.
False, purely on the concept of Wayne Rooney doing a speech.
Are Wayne Rooney's genitals true or false?
They are true.
No.
And small.
Those poor elderly prostitutes.
That's not a phrase you hear often enough in our podcast. SparklyBob.
Yeah, I've got shocked mum pays £47 for 2 bags of Pick and Mix sweets, which if anyone's been to the local cinema.
Well, I mean, we all know, I think we've all lived that. I mean, the markup on Pick and Mix is higher than gold bullion. But surely the issue here is the size of the bag. I mean, if she's going in with the rucksack's full with urine and kitchen stones.
The size bag, and the bit that gets any parent is the daughter had started eating them. So she couldn't even go, what? And hand it back again.
Oh, hang on. It's done by weight.
What, the child?
You can't.
After all that Pick and Mix, it will be.
You can't start eating before because there's no way of charging.
Well, I think they'd weighed it, handed it to the child, then said that'll be £47.
This is this child who's just so greedy, even as it's on the scales. This child's pig-like face. In there. Yeah.
It's Augustus Gloop for the.
Yes, very Willy Wonka vibes coming through now. Yes, the Oompa Loompas then carried this child off to teach them a lesson.
Like they're saying they won't be able to pay the heating bill because they bought this expensive Pick Mix.
Yes, but the child's going to be insulated with all that extra layer of fat.
Yeah, Giraffe, sweets, horrified parent.
Oh yeah, all looking very angry and abused.
Empty wallet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they pay by card, like it's,
car on fire in the background. No connection, just to make it look bleaker.
And one child's shoe.
Yeah, one child's shoe, yes.
And Wayne Rooney in the background.
One child's genitals.
Sweets must be intrinsically different weights, So why would you load up your Pick and Mix with like a really heavy, I don't know. I'm trying. To
You're
think of
going with
example, like,
marshmallows,
really-
aren't you?
Yeah, really
You
heavy
cheap
jelly or something.
bastard, Chris.
No,
Exactly.
There's-
Just-
They're
Exactly.
bigger.
You don't let them
Yeah.
get the mini eggs. The mini eggs are really expensive because they're proper weighty. You only let them do that if you've already paid for the cup. Then you're
Yeah.
like, get all the heavy sweets, and they're like, but Mum, I don't like fudge. You're like, I don't care.
Get
We're
it
getting
in.
the money's worth for it. But if it's a bag which has got to be weighed, you're like the lightest of air.
Candy
That's what we
floss.
want. Yeah,
Yeah.
candy floss, perfect. They're paying you for candy floss. Like,
Don't go for any jellies. I mean, jellies. I mean, who would put a jelly in there? It's just like, you know, it's
Madness.
ridiculous.
Like a trifle jelly?
I mean, that's really mad.
Yeah. I have to admit, I haven't actually gotten pick and mix for years because I used to have a friend who worked for a pick and mix company and got some free ones.
Would this be Mrs. Wrenfoe by any chance?
That would be your wife, yes.
Yes. Technically, she was just grooming you, Tim. I think if she's sending you these sweets through the post,
I mean,
you're happy
fine
to be
with that.
groomed, aren't you?
Absolutely fine with that, yeah.
Yeah. It's a fair trade-off.
Yeah.
And what? So she gave you a load, and that's put you off pick and mix now for life. She gave you too much,
Well, I'm
did she?
not paying for it.
The first pick
what are
and
we
mix is
talking about
always
now?
free.
When he's saying he's not paying for it, I'm going to speak to Mrs. Wrenfoe
Right.
after this podcast. Tim says he's not paying for it. What is it? And can Paul watch from the loft?
I'm already watching. It's fine, Wrenfoe.
with his chicken silencer.
I think this might be true. The markups are so. The mafia need to really get onto this because the markups are so good on these things. I think it's probably true.
I'm going to go with false. I don't trust SparklyBob's face.
Well, that's fair. For obviously our listeners who can't see Sparkly Bob's face, she's got the most devious looking, untrustworthy face you could ever imagine. She's got one eye bigger than the other. Her nostrils aren't facing in the right direction. I mean, it's a very sketchy face. It's the kind of face only Picasso could love. I've never heard anyone reject a true or false on the basis of what the person looked like. It was okay.
I'm going to say true. As Chris said, the markup is awful in them sweets. I haven't got them for a while, to be honest with you, because I take my own sweets to the cinema. That sounds weird.
Yeah. But did you know that you're allowed to do that? Because I didn't realise. I've been like a ninja, like trying to smuggle in sweets and things like that. And apparently it doesn't matter. They don't mind if you bring your own food.
Doing forward rolls in a black outfit through the foyer.
Like commando rolls, like bastard.
I'm sailing down from the ceiling.
Yes.
Apparently someone took a cheese board into a cinema once. So it's,
Oh, I
That's
admire that level of like dedication there.
But now-
like 3-course dinner, why not?
I mean, yeah. Well, now they do serve dinner, don't they? Burgers and things in cinemas.
Hold on, is this your house and you're just in front of the TV set, Paul?
That's what I call it now. It's much cheaper. Let's go to the cinema. It's only the living room.
Why do you have to watch
Every
telly
man.
through this little hole?
It's cheaper. Right.
Yeah, it is true.
Tim.
I have another study, a scientific study, and that is that the French have gotten even lazier.
Well, I don't think we need to do true or false of that sort. I think we all get
About 40 years ago, a survey was done, and 60% of French people said they enjoy going to work. And they redid this survey more recently, and only 31% of it going to work.
And the rest couldn't be bothered to fill out the survey. They were that lazy. Well, no, I don't think that implies laziness. Should it?
No.
Implies people just becoming
Like-
less servile.
Or not enjoying their just job satisfaction. Surely that's what that is, rather than like
This sounds like a conclusion drawn by bosses. You're just lazy. I'm not. I've been signed off sick. You're lazy.
Did Liz Truss write this report? Isn't
Yeah.
it? That's one of her favourite
The-
phrases, isn't it?
Well, it does sort of conjure up this image of someone sitting there with some gal smoking a Galois or whatever, just can't be bothered to do work, can't be bothered to go in today.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
composing some great poetry. It's not time wasted.
Great. They're great. They have a shorter working week than we do over here as well. Their working week is only 35 hours.
See, this sounds
They
to me
still don't like going.
it just sounds like to me the French are getting smarter and the English are getting dumber because we'll buy into this lazy kind of shtick that's being presented to us.
thing is, if somebody said to me, like, I mean, I like my job, but if somebody went, there's a choice between not doing a job, just staying at home or going to a job, but not with any of the related things of not being able to pay my bills and stuff, I think I would go, I'd rather not do my job. Many thanks.
Yeah.
If I could carry on living like I'm doing now and also not work, not being lazy, I feel that's just
we're
being sensible.
we're gonna put your employer's name at the end of the podcast so they can hear this.
Will it help understand the angle of this article if you know that it was from the Telegraph?
Well, they don't like French people, and they don't, and everyone who's not a lord is lazy.
Do you remember when, if you went into one of the, definitely the London stations, they used to be so desperate to get rid of the Telegraph, you'd get a free bottle of water, and it was actually like a loss thing, like it cost you less money to get the Telegraph than it did to get the water. Though I think one time I did go, it's just not worth it, and they're like, yeah, but it's like a free bottle of water, and I was like, yeah, it's not worth it. I don't even want to touch it. I don't even want to touch the Telegraph and then have to throw it away. It just, I'll have to go and find a bin. No, it's all right.
It also makes you wonder what's in the water that they're selling with the Telegraph. You go, can you have racist water?
You use the water to give yourself a cold shower afterwards.
Yeah. The headline on Telegraph that day was like, well, these witches won't drown themselves.
Yeah, I think it might be true. I agree. It sounds like another good Michigan State University study, and I'm gonna go with.
They're solid with their research. We put together a series of French people, simulating them with a series of rucksacks filled with
sent them on roller coasters.
Well, I was going to say false until you said it was in the Telegraph, and now I'm going to go true because that's just the sort of thing that they write.
Yeah, Tim's cheated there by playing the Telegraph card. It's like the Daily Mail card. It then makes every headline plausible.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the consensus. True. It's true.
Tim.
It is true.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you had me until you said Telegraph. That's like a slightly different Jerry Maguire quote.
Finally, we reached the magic 8 ball.
The magic 8 ball!
Each of our guests is going to give us their predictions for next month's news.
Matt Hancock suspended indefinitely by his testicles in the jungle.
Dominic Raab revealed to not be a bully, but just a diva. A spokesperson from Number 10 said, first of all, we were concerned when he said staff were not allowed to look him directly in the eye and yelling incoherent demands. But then he asked for 20 white kittens and blue M&Ms, and we realised he's just channeling his inner Mariah.
Rishi is going to have to step down because he's been in office too long. And having realised that things aren't working, that they're going to replace the Prime Minister with a coalition of Bungle, George and Zippy.
Bungle, Zippy and George would be a rainbow coalition, presumably.
Oh. I wonder what would have happened if they'd had them on an armband. That would have been a real, Qatar would never have guessed. And we'd have been we know what it means, but you don't know what it means.
There's still time.
Genius.
Yeah.
I'm going to tweet Gareth Southgate now.
Yeah, say get Zippy and George on there. They won't know. You'll just be like, we're a massive fan of TV shows from our youth.
Or just Rob, Jane and Freddie for no reason.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Qatar announced as host of Eurovision.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. And I can reveal this month's winner is anyone in Qatar hoping to buy some abandoned stadiums at the end of the month. I'd like to thank our guests, Chris F.
Goodbye.
SparklyBob.
Goodbye.
Tim.
Bye.
And Paul L.
Goodbye.
And I leave you with these headlines. Latest JCB described as groundbreaking.
Oh, God.
8 billionth child born. Boris denies responsibility. And World Dog Shitting Championship. Great Dane says a big win is in the bag.
Oh.
Don't know why I'm ending on that one. I just,
You've been listening to NewsBiscuit, free to read and free to write for. We accept submissions from any budding satirist, young or old. Visit newsbiscuit.com to submit headlines, stories, and to support new writers.
NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
We've got a book coming out with NewsBiscuit as well, Tim. We've just released a book. It's like our Christmas annual. It's just come out.
Okay.
So I'll be looking to plug that at every conceivable moment of the podcast. just dropping it in. Yeah, if anyone mentions the word book, that's it. I'm segueing into or any word beginning with the letter B, actually. That is going to be sufficient for me to go, oh, bananas. Yes, we have a book coming out, Tim. And it's very reasonably priced. Doesn't get sold a lot, our book. It gets bought by the authors.
How's it doing? Do you know so far? Is it doing all right?
I haven't bothered to check. There's that little surge at the start where all the authors jump online and they all buy a copy each. And we end up in like the top 10 on Amazon for like 24 hours. And we're like, that's it. We're all going to be millionaires. And then it drops off a cliff.
There is a difficulty with news-based literature in that they don't have a very good shelf life.
I think our biggest barrier is spelling, though.